Welcome back to the second draft. We promised you guys a review of the Kegsmith, and today, that's exactly what we're going to do. For those of you who may have missed the unboxing video, the Kegsmith is a 128 ounce or gallon sized growler with a CO2 delivery system. It's basically a portable beer keg with a draft attached to it. We spent about a week with it, going from brewery to brewery, seeing if we had any troubles getting it filled up, taking it out to dudes night for games and whatnot and beers. Just spent a week just getting familiar with it, learning all the ins and outs, and making sure we knew everything we could about it before bringing this review to you. So right off the bat, I took it to multiple breweries, and I had absolutely zero trouble getting it filled anywhere I went. They treated it just like a traditional growler. They hooked it up with a hose straight to the tap, filled it up. They taped off the cap for legal reasons. They put the Surgeon General warning sticker on it, and I was sent on my way. It was quick. It was easy. No questions asked. Nobody looked at me sideways, gave me weird glances, told me they couldn't fill it. It was just in and out, no problems, paid the check, and left. And I gotta say, every time I went into a brewery to have it filled, somebody stopped me within 10 steps of the door and asked me what it was, where I got it, what the capacity was, and they were actually really surprised when I told them that it came with the CO2 delivery system. It actually has its own draft. They were shocked. They wanted to know more, wanted to know where I got it, wanted to know where they could get one, how much it cost. It was absolutely, like I figured, a great conversational piece for, stopping by the brewery. It was awesome. And the real test was taking this out for Dudes Night earlier this week, wherein me and a bunch of old friends get together and we drink beer and play games and catch up, and everybody was all about the Kegsmith. Everybody wanted to know more, wanted to know where I got it, wanted to know more about the company, the capacity. Everybody was impressed and wanted to know more about the CO2 delivery system. It was an awesome conversation piece, and I was pretty much the center of attention for a little while at Dudes Night. Before the beer took over, of course. So yeah, overall, I have to say my use and the time with the unit has been very impressive. There's a couple of things of note. Like with any CO2 draft or delivery system, it can be a little bit finicky. That first beer you pour out, you might get a little extra foam after you get the CO2 and the pressure inside the keg regulated. Set that aside, let it sit for a little bit, let it rest for a bit, and that next beer should pour perfectly. That's completely normal. You talk to any brewmaster in any brewery and they'll tell you when they open up the shop first thing in the morning, they open up those lines from the kegs, it's going to be a little bit heady. You just kind of got to deal with it, got to go through it, and that next beer you pour when the first customer walks in is perfect. So yeah, it takes a little bit of experimentation, just a little bit of patience, but after you get that first bit of head cleared, it's smooth sailing. A couple other things you might want to consider is when you go out to the brewery to get it filled, you always request to have them use a hose from their tap to fill the keg up. You don't want to have your bartender fill this up straight from the tap without any kind of a rubber hose or any sort of delivery system. It could cause the beer to become too foamy to begin with, which could result in some minor issues with the tap. Most breweries worth their weight in salt should use a hose to fill any kind of growler anyway, so it shouldn't be an issue. Also, you don't want to view the Kegsmith as a replacement for your kegerator. The unit is definitely designed more for portability and transportation of beer as opposed to long-term storage. It's more or less designed for bringing out to various social events. Or if you're like me and you drink beer at a reasonable volume, you can bring a keg home and sit in your fridge for a couple of days, I would say, at tops, and then tap it from there, and it'll be perfectly fresh, just like it was poured from the brewery. But again, it's not designed with long-term storage in mind. As far as transporting the unit, it was easy. The unit by itself, empty without any beer, is super light. It's stainless steel. Filled with beer, it's really no more difficult to carry than, say, a gallon of milk. So if you're able to do that, you'll be able to carry the Kegsmith to your tailgate, your guy's night, your dad's birthday party, your stag party, your friend's funeral, your dog's birthday party, sitting outside your ex-girlfriend's apartment while crying and drinking because she broke up with you. Maybe not that last one. So overall, I'm very impressed with the Kegsmith. Everything I wanted to achieve with the unit has been achieved in spades. The portability of the beer is perfect. It's a perfect size. It's about 8 pints. So you and your group of friends are going to each get at least 2 beers out of this. It was an awesome talking point every time I took it out of the brewery. Made some new friends, talked to some new people, chatted up some bartenders, chatted up some brewmasters about different things. So yeah, it's great. I'm super impressed with it. Highly recommend it. And if you have the means, which you absolutely should because it's completely affordable, I would definitely say pick it up right away. But also be sure to order your food grade CO2 cartridges. Those are very important. Food grade, again, is essential. Do not go out and get regular CO2 cartridges because you probably fucking kill yourself. You should be able to order everything and anything you need for the unit and get started right away at kegsmith.com. And once again, we want to thank them so much for hooking us up and sending the unit out for us to take a look at and play around with for a week. So thank you guys very much, and keep up the good work because this thing is fucking killer. So grab one of these, and craft beer absolutely will be on tap. Cheers, and thanks for stopping by the second draft. Binge watching Gilmore Girls on Netflix. Pretending you're a giant and this is full-size industrial level brewing equipment. Watching the Browns play on Sundays. No, nobody should do that. Wearing it instead of a camelback on long hikes through the desert. If you're Jay Cutler before every Miami Dolphins game. If you're a fan of the Seattle Supersonics and or the OKC Thunder. Wearing it instead of a camelback to a Browns game.